reciprocal functions. कुछ चीजें जो हमने the things that we studied in A levels, AS was sine theta it is opposite upon hypotenuse. I'll write for the time being perpendicular upon height. किसी को कोई problem तो नहीं है? Okay, what about cos theta? That is adjacent upon hypotenuse, which is basically base upon hypotenuse, and tan theta is basically sine theta upon cos theta. लिखते जाओ साथ साथ, ये obviously ये written मिलेगा, and which is perpendicular upon base, या opposite upon adjacent. Is this clear? सही है ना? Okay. And using this, when I talk about Pythagoras theorem, तो मैं इसलिए कहता हूँ Pythagoras theorem की बात, if I write so that you understand where we got these identities from, कोई मुश्किल चीज नहीं है. So if you divide both the sides by h square, what do you get? H square upon h square. And then I can simply write P upon, chalo pehle I'll take all the steps. P square plus B square upon h square. So this is 1 is equals to, and now can I write P upon h ka square plus B upon h ka square, which is 1 is equals to sine square theta plus cos square theta. कोई प्रॉब्लम है यहाँ तक तो बताओ. Were you aware of this? Good. Now we will study some of the more functions. अच्छा, अब ये functions जो है ना, these are just for writing. Like for example, when we did log function, I told you how else can we write log? Log to the base 10. How else can we write it? How else can we write log to the base 10? Log to the base 10. How is it written in a calculator? LOG खाली लिखा होता है, and we can also write it as LG. Calculator में LG तो नहीं होता, but it's just a writing ease that we have. Similarly, now we'll be doing a few more functions जिसमें सिर्फ writing ease है, and obviously those functions are not on the calculators. So let's do the first one, which is cosec theta. इसको CSC भी लिख सकते हैं, or you can write it as cosec as well. Go for the third letter. What is the third letter of cosec? S. So this is basically the reciprocal function of sine. Again, this is just a writing ease calculator. You will not find any button for cosec. Is this clear? So what will 1 over sine be? Hypotenuse upon, just to help you understand the future identities, I'm mentioning it. Note it down. इसी तरह I have sec theta, which should be 1 upon, or I can say that is base upon, sorry, my bad, hypotenuse upon base. And I have cot theta, which is cotangent or 1 upon tan theta, or I can write it as cos theta upon sine theta, or which is base upon perpendicular. Is this clear? Anything that is not clear till this point? सब समझ आ रहा है कोई मसला कोई problem है तो let me know. Okay, now can we do two more operations at the Pythagoras theorem? Can you divide both the sides by p square? Do it and tell me the identity that you end up getting. Obviously, these identities will be provided in MF19, but just to give you an idea how we got these identities. नहीं मुश्किल में क्यों पड़ गया? What is the reason of studying all these things? देखो जरा, don't worry. Okay, what if I divide both of them by p square? Can I say h square upon p square is equals to 1 plus p square upon p square? Does this make sense to everyone? Now, what is h upon p? We just studied it. It is cosec. I told you can write it as CSC or cosec square theta is equals to 1 plus what is p upon p? cot square theta. Again, these will be provided, don't worry. But just understanding how we got these will help us in using them. And similarly, now if I divide both the sides by p square, I'll get p upon p square upon b square plus 1. So what is h upon b? Which is sec square theta. And what is p upon b? That is tan square theta. अगर आगे का पढ़ रहे हैं तो पिछला थोड़ी भूल जाना है. We must know where we came from. Is this clear? Kindly note it down. Now let's go for the compound angles. Okay. So if I give you two angles, sine A plus minus B. Now, what does this mean? It can either be sine A plus B or it can be sine A minus B. So, with where we'll be doing both cases. And again, these will also be provided in MF19. So do not worry too much about it. Just note them down in your registers for a reference. So, ताकि हम जो questions attempt करें, so we can always refer back to these because these will be provided. Now, this is equals to sine A cos B plus minus cos A and sine B. Is this clear? What does that mean? That mean if you have a plus over here, you will have a plus over here. If you have a minus over here, you will subtract over here. Is this clear? Now, what if I have cos A plus minus B? I'll have cos A, cos B. Very good. Minus plus. What does that mean? If I have a plus over there will be a minus over here. Brilliant. Sine A, sine B. Note it down. Nothing to worry about. कोई मसले की बात नहीं है. परेशान होने की जरूरत नहीं है. Don't worry. कुछ नहीं है भाई, इसकी डिटेल में इफ वी गो इन डिटेल थोड़ा कंफ्यूजिंग हो जाएगा, बट इट्स जस्ट अ कंपाउंड एंगल. देखो, दीज आर नॉट अलजेब्रिक ब्रैकेट्स के हमने ब्रैकेट खोला, कॉस को दोनों से मल्टीप्लाई कर दिया. दिस इज हाउ वी गेट द कंपाउंड एंगल्स. इफ यू हैव एन एंगल ए, अनदर एंगल बी, इफ दे आर एडिंग, और मैं पूरे पे कॉस लगा रहा हूँ, सो दिस इज व्हाट आई विल एंड अप एट. इसको समझना थोड़ा सा लेंथी और डिफिकल्ट है, बट इट्स डूएबल. इंटरेस्टेड हो तो मैं बैठ के समझा सकता हूँ, बट आई हैव सीन स्टूडेंट्स गेटिंग मोर कंफ्यूज्ड इफ आई गो इनटू दैट पर्टिकुलर डेरिवेशन. ट्राइंगल के अंदर ट्राइंगल बनता है, फिर उसके गो ऑन विद दैट. स्टूडेंट्स प्रेफर जस्ट टू नो इट, कहते हैं बस काफी बता, काफी हो गया था. नेक्स्ट राइट tan a plus minus b. Now tan will do the same thing because it's sine upon cos. तो ऊपर it will do what sine does, tan a plus minus tan b. And नीचे 1 minus plus tan a tan b. Is this clear? Nothing to worry about, nothing to memorize. All of this will be provided. Now, what I want you to do is, first application of these will be for the double angles that we will do. So if I will ask you sine 2a, what does that mean? Yes, you're right, it's a double angle, but how can you relate it to the ones that we have just studied? वो तो हम करेंगे, don't worry. Can I say this is basically sine of a plus a when both the angles are technically a? So can you use this compound angle expansion and tell me what do you get? If both the angles are a, this was for when the one angle is a and the other one is, what if both of them are a? Give it a go. Tell me what do you end up getting? What do you end up getting? Sine A cos A plus cos A sine A. Is that right? Yeah, so that's 2 times sine A cos A. Is it x, y, and yx are the same thing? So cos A sine A and sine A cos A, no matter in what order I multiply them, aren't they the same thing? And when they are adding, same things are adding. So can I write 2 times sine A cos A? This is what I end up getting. The same thing I want you to do with cos 2A. Just do it once. Again, these will also be provided. So परेशान नहीं होना कि सर ये आप करवा रहे हो. Obviously, these will be provided, but this is just the first instance of applying those compound angle formula for the double angle. Cos A and cos A, that can be written as x into x is 2x. So here cos A into cos A is cos square A. The first way that you can write it as cos is very helpful. Take your time and let me know if you are unable to understand it. Make sense? Hmm? Now I want you to substitute this sine square A using the identity that you studied in AS. What can you plug in sine square A? 1 minus cos square A, please. Plug it in and tell me what do you end up getting. Use appropriate brackets so that you don't end up making a sign error. Very good. 2 cos square A minus 1. Okay. What if I would have plugged in 1 minus sine square A in place of this cos square A? Then what? Can you tell me where will you end up? If you would have plugged in 1 minus sine square A in place of this cos square A. वो भी कर लो. cos 2A के 3 मिल जाते हैं हमें. 1 minus 2 sine square A. Isn't that correct? Sure. Yes. Now just do this once for tan as well, and then we are almost done with the compound and the double angle. Tan 2A. Use the compound angle expansion that we have just studied and tell me what do you get. Sure. Sure. Yeah. Okay, don't worry. If you the both the angles are A, bacha, so you get tan A plus tan A, which is 2 tan A. And both the angles are A. So tan A into tan A is no, tan A multiplied by tan A. What will you? Yes. Now do you get it? कोई problem है तो बताओ. Okay. So let's try to prove identities. Let's try to put this into practice. And I do not mind you constantly turning your pages around to refer to the compound and the double angles that has been provided. बगैर देख के करके कोई चैंपियन बनने की जरूरत नहीं है. Rather focus on what we need to do and how we need to do. Okay, in AS, a very common practice for students was they picked up the left hand side, they manipulated it, and they proved it equal to the right hand side. And AS में मैं ये बात constantly कहता हूँ, A2 में दोबारा बताता हूँ. Do not make this a thumb rule. ऐसा कोई जरूरी नहीं है. You can pick any side and turn it into the other side. That should be your entire focus. And the entire trigonometry revolves around two functions. What are those? Two functions. पूरी ट्रिग्नोमेट्री का रूट वहीं से चलता है. ए बोलो. And very good, brilliant. These are the two functions that drive the entire trigonometry. These are the building blocks of trigonometry. You can break any trigonometric function into simple sine and cos. That should be your target. Is this clear? Okay, now in this one we have to look. अब कुछ और भी देखना है हमें. Can you start with the left hand side and prove it equal to the right hand side? Not at the moment, but by the time you'll get to integration or differentiation, you will be so well versed with this topic. You must be so well versed in this topic that you can do vice versa. Abhi just starting hai. So initially, it's preferable that you expand the double and the compound angle. So ek jagah pe you have theta, and the other one place you have एक जगह पे थीटा है लेफ्ट साइड पे. व्हाट अबाउट द राइट साइड? 4 थीटा. 4 थीटा को खोल खोल के एक्सपैंड कर करके we can get to thetas. That is much easier for us right now. So let's start with the right hand side. Step by step. Nothing to worry about. कोई जल्दबाजी नहीं. I'll help you understand each and everything. Now, what can cos 4 theta turn into? It can either turn into sine and cos both. It can either turn into sine only. It can either turn into cos only. Why am I saying so? I am focusing on these three. कि अगर cos का कोई भी एंगल है उसको आधा करना है. If I would have had a 2a and I wanted to make it convert it into a, तो नहीं तो मैं इसको बता रहा हूँ कि I had three options, sin square cos square दोनों, या sin या cos. तीनों ऑप्शंस थे मेरे पास. Here if I'll be doing that, अभी तो मैं cos 4 थीटा को अगर आधा करूंगा तो which angle will I end up at? 2 थीटा. लेकिन किस में जाना है? साइन कॉस दोनों में जाना है, कॉस में जाना है, या सिर्फ साइन में जाना है? दैट इज द चॉइस दैट वील हैव टू मेक. इज दिस क्लियर? थोड़ी सी गाइडेंस, थोड़ी सी हिंट दैट आई विल बी गिविंग यू. अभी तो आई विल गिव यू एन ऑप्शन कि जिसमें दिल चाहे करो. इवेंचुअली यू विल गेट टू योर आंसर, नथिंग टू वरी अबाउट. बट थोड़ी सी हिंट ये है. लुक एट द फाइनल आंसर. व्हाट डू यू सी? You see sine and cos functions multiplying with each other. ये किस फंक्शन को खोलते हुए होता है हमारे पास? लुक एट द ऑल द फंक्शंस दैट यू हैव. किसको एक्सपैंड करते हुए यू एंड अप सीइंग cos and sin मल्टीप्लाई विद ईच अदर? sin टू a. दिस गिव्स अस द हिंट कि अगर मैं साइन में खोलूं तो मुझे रास्ता मिल सकता है टू एंड अप at a place where sin and cos are eventually multiplying by each other. Is this clear or not? Again, घूम फिर के आंसर हर तरह से बन जाएगा, but we should be smart about it. We should have the presence of mind to choose the right expansion. Is this clear? एक सेकंड में एक्सपर्ट नहीं बनोगे. You will be using all these hints that I am giving you and eventually practicing more on your own to get to the right answer in the shortest. So let's open this cos 4 theta. क्या बनेगा? ये डिसाइड हो गया किस में खोलना है? साइन में खोलना है. और साइन में खोलेगा तो 4 थीटा आधा होके क्या बनेगा? 2 theta. Are we clear about it? Okay, what will you get? Give it a try. Cos 4 theta की जगह क्या आएगा मेरे पास? Let me know if anyone is getting a different answer or if anyone is unable to understand. This is the very, very first step. Now, did you understand the reason for using a long bracket? ताकि कोई अगर round brackets use करने हैं, मैं अंदर खुद use कर सकूं for the ease of calculations. कोई problem? Very good. Don't worry. Shabash. Okay. If you would have had a cos 2a and you decided to open it, you would end up getting cos square a minus sine square. Your angle was 2a, you ended up getting half of those angles. Your angle was 2a, you ended up getting half of that angle. Your angle was 2a, you ended up getting half of that angle. First, I asked you to decide करो cos 2a को इन तीनों में से किस में खोलना है. तीनों में खोल के you can get to the answer through the longer methods as well. But we decided कि इसमें खोलना फायदेमंद है कि once we go into sine, फिर जब sine को हम expand करेंगे तो we can end up getting the product of sine and cos. Is this clear? So this is the one that we decided. Agreed? So if I would have had the angle 2a, I would have ended up on a. The angle I had was 4 theta. So the angle I will end up at is 2 theta. Makes sense now? That is all I have done in the first system. I'm telling you, do not rush to get to the answer. Understand, all of this is very important. Makes sense now? Yeah. Can you tell me the simplified version? क्या होगा इसका 1/8? Anything that you are unable to understand, please let me know. Is this clear? Yes. Let me be very clear about it. मैं एक चीज अभी बता रहा हूँ, उसको बार बार प्रॉब्लम में नहीं आएंगे हम. Once I have a sine x and what is being squared? The entire function. The angle which is the input, x angle है, input है, वो square नहीं हो रहा है. The entire function is being squared and I can write it as, be very clear about this. इसको अलग से लिख लो, note down कर लो, understand it if you have any problem with this. Be very clear about it. इसका मतलब ये है कि पूरा function is being squared. बिल्कुल you can write it as, but do not write it as sine x का square. Do not do that. Do not square the angle. इन दोनों में से choose a method that you need to write it in. But do not square the angle. Yes, you can choose to write it as sine x into sine x, or you can just write a sine x and put a square on it. Square का मतलब ही क्या है? Multiplying by itself. Is this clear? So now I have a sine square 2 theta, and this is troubling me कि मैं इसको तो कुछ नहीं कर सकता. And which angle will I have to end up at? The angle that I need to end up at theta. तो मुझे अब एक और डबल एंगल एक्सपैंड करना है. So just to help you understand, I'll write it. Take your time and let me know if you are unable to understand it. Commonly, I've just written it in a different way to help you understand कि हम कर क्या रहे हैं. A problem, anything that is confusing या नहीं समझ आ रहा. क्लियर है? हालांकि it's all you've done it in AS as well, but दोबारा बता दिया मैंने कि the square on sine represents that the function is being squared. Is this clear now? Now can you open sine 2 theta? What is sine 2 theta? देखो पीछे पेज पलटा के देखो, कोई रश नहीं है. There is no rush. Very good. So 2 sine theta And remember, there is still a square that needs to happen. ये तो मैंने सिर्फ साइन टू थीटा को डबल एंगल खोल दिया स्क्वायर तो अपनी जगह पे ना आई हैवंट स्क्वायर्ड इट येट नाउ देयर आर थ्री थिंग्स दैट आर मल्टीप्लाइंग इन दिस स्क्वायर टू साइन थीटा एंड कॉस थीटा इफ आई ए बी सी का अगर स्क्वायर करता हूँ ए बी सी मल्टीप्लाई हो व्हाट डू आई गेट स्क्वायर ए बी सी का होल स्क्वायर क्या आएगा ए बी सी का स्क्वायर क्या आएगा ए बी सी मल्टीप्लाई हो रहा है स्क्वायर ऑन इट ए स्क्वायर बी स्क्वायर सी स्क्वायर यहाँ पे भी why can't I do the same thing over here 4 sin square theta 8 and 8 cancelled out. Do we end up getting the make sense? कोई problem, कोई confusion? So let's give another question a try. I've tried to color code this for you to understand. Aram sukun se, do not be in a hurry. Cos 4 theta. Again, why we are trying to expand everything into cos? Because we need the answer in cos. So cos 4 theta can be written as 2 cos square 2 theta minus 1. And cos 2 theta again can be written as 2 cos square theta minus 1. यहाँ तक clarity है. This simply multiplied by 4 and we ended up getting this. Nothing to worry about. Now this is something that troubles us. ये कहाँ से आया? It's better if we just write it this way: 2 cos 2 theta squared minus 1 and then बाकी सारी चीजें so on. Now I can just expand this cos 2 theta as 2 cos squared theta minus 1 and the entire thing still has to square. Do you understand this? What do I need to do? Ab yahan, there is a square and there is a 2 theta as well. My final answer is only supposed to contain theta. I want to open up this double angle, but yeah, square bhi hai. So just to, for my own clarity, I have written it in this way. ये दोनों एक ही चीज है गौर से देखो अब क्लियर है यहाँ तक so now cos 2 theta I can just open up this double angle what do I get 2 cos square theta minus 1 and the entire thing still has to square ये square नहीं खाया मैंने it's still there so square is still there is this clear अब या तो square either I am very good with the identities a minus b whole squared या तो I make two brackets of the same thing and multiply अगर a minus b whole square करूं तो what do I get a square minus 2ab plus b square and remember this entire thing still has to multiply by 2 multiplying it by 2 simplifying the like terms and I'll end up on my right hand side do it on your own give it a try let me know if you're unable to understand it